So feel free to, ask questions, maybe correct me if you see something that is not 100% accurate. Feel free to add stuff if you'd like. Um, yeah, let's dive in. Are we recording?
Yep, it's live.
All right, great. So welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. Uh, as I said, today I'm going to teach you everything I know about gathering. Uh, yeah. So first of all, why should you gather and is it worth it? So, like everything in Albion or in life, there's pros and cons to gathering. So, I think the most appealing thing in gathering is that you don't really need any skill. You just need to do it. You don't need to know some ancient knowledge to start gathering. You just do it. And yeah, so then it can also be very profitable when it comes to tones that you receive for practically just doing it. Like it's free bonuses on the ground. And as I said, it can be very profitable if you know how to do it right. And yeah, that's basically it. It's very peaceful, very, very peaceful. Then again, if you know how to do it right, and it gives you more content to operate with for spending more time in Albion. Yeah. Now, the two main cons of gathering is that it consumes time, a lot of time, especially in the lower tiers, and it takes a lot of time to level up. So do keep in mind that patience is key here. Next up, we're gonna talk about which one should you choose at first. Uh, so yeah, you got Hide. Hide is the most profitable. It makes money in all cities by few thousand per. Like in the higher tiers, it's way more profitable than the other resources. So you also get cubs. It has very high demand. You make more money out of it. The only problem it has is that you need to kill the animals. Unlike the other resources that you just pick it up, you need to kill them. So do keep that in mind, that you need to have somewhat of a, a rather useful set to kill stuff. So be prepared. Second of all is fiber. It also has high demand, not as much as hide, but it is more profitable. My problem with it is that it is the most like it is the most contested out of all of the resources. It's the one that is the most hard to find, the most difficult to find, because the nodes are empty most of the time. Uh, so you just need to do a little bit more digging to find them. And what I found the most irritating about fiber compared to the other resources is that um, do you know how each region has its own resource? So let's say Mountlock has stone, uh, Bridgewatch has hide. What you need to do is just transfer it one city away, so it's not that big of a problem. It's gonna take you like top 10 minutes to transfer everything, and you should be good. When it comes to fiber, if you're going to farm in Tedford, you need to take it all the way to the other side of the map in Limast. So yeah, it's kind of annoying going through all of the yellow zones and stuff uh, to sell it in Limast or even refine it if you like. And yeah. Next up is wood and ore. There's nothing too special about them. You can find them. Uh, they are plentiful. They make good money. and they're also good. They are more chill than the others. Stone, okay, so stone, here's the problem with stone. You can not make money out of it until you reach tier 6, and even tier 6 is not that profitable. You can find them almost. The abundance of stone around the maps is so high, though, on the other hand, because nobody farms it, because they know it's not profitable. So that's the good thing about stone, that you will find more of it because no one is willing to get it. As for fishing, I didn't do a lot of fishing. I am tier 7 with it, but I didn't do too much. It's very easy to level up. You just, auto spec and auto learn, and you eat fish. But there is a way to do it more efficiently. So it's also fun, but it's a little bit different than the other gathering. So before we begin talking on how and where should you do it, let's talk about what you shouldn't do. So let's just keep in mind that as of the new update, maybe some things are not entirely accurate. Maybe maybe they changed a few things about what I'm about to say. So just know that, take it with a grain of salt. So what not to do when you first go. So everybody knows that aspects in the overroads are they give a lot of nodes, and it may seem easy at first, but when you think about it, they don't really give that much compared to what I'm about to teach you to do. They are most of the time hit or miss and very luck dependent, and you just gonna find yourself running around looking for the aspects that you can't even mine, and just stay away from the overroads until you reach higher levels. Next up, there's the node areas in the red and black zone, and everybody knows that in node areas you're going to find a lot of nodes, so everybody goes there. Therefore, they are mostly empty. You can't really find much there when there's like 5 other people that they got there first, took everything already, and I doubt it if they even found anything. So I wouldn't go there as well at first. There's also the risk of meeting gankers. Gankers, for them, it's a high priority target, and it's very easy to get ganked there. So do keep that in mind, that it's more dangerous and very high risk, low reward kind of scenario. But if you do eventually choose to go there, do it with care. So let's begin. When you're tier 3 or 4, just like I said in the previous one, there's node areas in the black and red zone, but there's also in the blue zone. So you get your gathering gear, you get your pork pie, and you just go there. Like, just if you can see in the picture, look how much there is out of tier 3 and 4. Like, it's just waiting there. Most of the time, nobody is trying to go there to contest it, because first of all, they don't even know about it. Second of all, why would they do it? It's not profitable, and the only reason for them to be there is to do exactly what you're doing. So it's high reward, low risk scenario. So these are all of the maps of all of the different resources. And yeah, just do it until you reach level 5 and you're good to go. Next up, tier 5 and 6, I call it the Carlion step. So what you need to do is get on your gathering gear again, the corresponding gathering gears, 5 or 6, get your pork pie, and go to Carlion. The reason for that is that you're just gonna do a ring around the rosy around Carlion and pick up the stuff that you're gathering. You can even take the stuff that you're not necessarily focusing on. You can do it on everything you want to level up. The reason for that is that the closer you go for Carleon, the higher enchanted rates you get. What that means is that if you have a high enchanted rates, you get more enchanted resources, which means more fame, which uh, which makes the process a lot faster. All right, you also get more money out of it. You can make more money, and um, the process is faster, as I already said. The problem with it is that Carleon is very known for its gankers. So luckily we do have the function which tells you how many reds are in the area, how many gankers there are. So once you see a low red count, know that you can go there and do whatever you want. But once you see 3, 4 plus people, I call it a no-no zone. Also keep in mind that there might be scouts waiting on the gates, so do keep that in mind. Make sure you have a fast mount with you, whether a moose or a stag, and avoid rush hours. Also, don't take flags with you. That's also a risk, because you just don't want to make yourself a target for other people to attack you. You don't want to give them a reason. Also, I didn't add it here, but you should also have a weapon which you can escape with. You can use bloodletter, double blade staff, but I don't recommend it as much. Carving, I know people use, whichever you want. Whichever makes you feel more confident. So next up, once you want to reach tier 7 and 8. Now we go into the Hava zone, which is more, how will I say it? There's more stuff to know, more stuff, it's more risky, let's say it like that. So when it comes to gather set and pork pie, it is optional, but it's not recommended. It might boost you a bit with the process, but not as much. So what you want to do is look for the tier 6 overroad aspect of road. So you need an overroad tier 6. And try to avoid the lower ones. They're not that good. They will give you less money, and the XP is also not that great. So usually look for the tier 6 and 8. And as I said, the off-road aspects. I'm not talking about the ones in the node areas. Also, just so you know, the aspects are half of the time it takes to harvest compared to regular nodes. So you do make more out of it, and you get 5 ticks. And also, what did I want to say? Oh, it's also faster. So, keep that in mind that it's going to be faster. But you can also repeat the Carrion stuff if you'd like. It's just going to be slower, but you might get more enchanted resources if you'd like that. But then there's the risk of transporting it all. Just, it's better to go to the other roads than Carleon, but whatever you want. So this is something not a lot of people know. When it comes to the names of the other roads, they can tell you what there's inside. So let's say we have, I forgot to add a regular, never mind. So let's talk about the ending of the names of the roads. as you can see, there's a list here that tells you what's going to be inside. Let's say I'm going for fiber. I'm going to look for roads that end with the SUM as the sum, because I know there's going to be a large fiber node there. All right. And when I say large, I'm talking about these ones, not the small ones. It doesn't necessarily lock you only for fiber. You can find more stuff there. But it's better to go there because you're gonna know what you're gonna find. Next up, you can before you go inside an Ava, you can know what tier the Ava is by the circles on the ground in front of it. So as you can see, the middle one, it tells you the tier. It has 7 dots, therefore it's tier 7. You're gonna find higher tier node areas, and if it was 8, you'd find 8 tier 8 mobs there. Not the aspects, but the monks and maguses and stuff. Um, the other two circles, I'm not so sure about it, but I heard it's for the amount of people. It's for like the amount of people it's recommended to come as. And that's the first one, and that's what tier what the if you're gonna go out to a blue zone, red zone, black zone, stuff like that. Maybe even deep Ava. Then there's the hover roads where you can put hideouts in. So usually they have their in their name they're gonna have 3 letters or in double I in their name. In this case, it's both. I recommend going there because usually people avoid it. Avoid going there. They think, oh, there's a night out there. There's surely going to be people there. Therefore, nobody goes there. Not even the people inside the Ava. So they are filled with more aspects that nobody does. So I recommend going there, but do keep in mind that there might be people there still. There's never going to be a chance for you to meet 0 people. There's always people in the other road, and it's not risk-free. So right now I'm going to teach you how to know whether the other road is going to be filled with people, gankers, if what you can do to be safer and stuff like that. So first of all, know the map exits for the Ava. For example, if you go inside the Ava and you see that there is an exit to a map that is 1 map away from a portal, and it doesn't matter which portal, there's 99.999% that there's going to be gankers. Why? Because gankers are lazy and they will just jump headfirst into the first Ava they see next to the portal. So if you're 1 map away, 2 maps away from a portal, go to another hover road.
Did you just call me lazy?
Yes. Next
Takes
up,
one to know one. Okay, there we go.
come on, don't you know it by yourself that gankers are lazy?
No.
So now you know. Next up, the amount of charges or unused charges in the on the gates. So if you see, for example, 4 out of 7, like you can see in the picture, that means that there's a higher flow of people. But if you see that all the charges are not taken in none of the gates, that means that there's a lower flow of people, which means that you might be safer. Now, it isn't 100% accurate, but because you can't see the outside gates and know how many ticks they have, but always keep in mind that It's like little crumbs that give you clues. Like look for them to know how many people there are around you. Next up, Deep Ava and HO Ava. As I said, hideout Avas are great. You can go there. There's no outside connection. As well as with Deep Ava. Deep Ava means that you cannot go to the outside world, whether it be black zone to blue zone. Um, so you're gonna have more fun there because you're gonna find more resources. And you will be a bit safer, tiny bit safer. So we like those. Next up, avoid chests. Okay, again, avoid chests. Usually people will go there, especially with the new update, which gives a lot of good stuff. So avoid them. If you're coming with lower tier gear only to kill the aspects, and you're not ready for a fight, don't go there. If you're seen gathering and you see the other guy like suspiciously looking at you, go away. Time to move. Don't be greedy. Don't lose your whole set and everything you gathered only for, I don't know, 5-1 node you found. Okay? Move on. It's alright to leave it. There's always more you can find in the next Ava. Be a coward. Truly be a coward if it's necessary for you to survive. And yeah. Next up is stay close to your mount. I can't stress this enough. People usually don't take it as people take it too lightly. Whenever you dismount to start gathering, and then you go to another one without getting your horse, you're risking being caught only to run towards your mount and then die horribly. So always, you finish the node, mount up, go to the next node. Then again, avoid rush hours, and as for the new update, I think it's good. It's good what they did. You can find more aspects there. And the only thing that it hurt is the income you get out of it because there's more supply of gathering, so the price is lower. Stuff you can do to boost the process. If you walk around the map or in the big node areas, and now mostly in the golden Ava you can find a lot of them, the aspects. So what you need to know about aspects is there's the one sword and two swords type. The one swords are usually between 60,000 and 90,000, maybe even 100,000 HP. They are easier to kill, need less people, they do less damage. And then there's the two swords. And even the small aspects that have two swords on them are really difficult to solo or to come as a small group. So if we're talking about the big ones with two swords on them, you need a lot of more people. Let's say it like that, and make sure that you're safe. So as I said, you can find them in Golden Ava or even as a world boss around. I found the last one I found was in a red zone near Carleon. So keep your eyes open for them, and do know that they give 2 times, maybe even 3 times more resources than the one sword one. And be ready. It will take you a while to take them down, maybe even a few tries. Next up is the gather resource event. I couldn't find a photo of it, so I just used the one in here. Every weekend, once in 2 weeks, and only on the weekends, and correct me if I'm wrong about it, you can find an event in the activities which gives you 25% more yield, and I'm going to explain what yield is in a moment, and 50% more treasure nodes around everywhere, and it can really help you. It can very much make the process faster, and it's really good for you. So especially if you do the tier 5, 6 around Carleon process. It's very fun. I see it as a holiday, truly, for me to go and gather stuff. So be ready with your pork pie and stuff, and yeah. The order is wood, fiber, stone, or hide fishing. I think the last one was stone, and this week we're not gonna get one, but next week it's going to be ore. So be ready with your pickaxe as well, and good luck. What is yield? So every level you unlock, or every level you have on the tree. Let's say you harvest tier 4 fiber. You every level you unlock, you get 0.5% bonus yield. That means that you get a 0.5% to double the amount of resources you're gonna get. So let's say I have 25% on tier 5 fiber. What level am I going to be? 50. Good job, guys. And yeah, I was expecting a little bit more cooperation.
Okay,
So,
Dora the Explorer.
2 plus 2 is 5.
so if I'm level 50 on fiber, I'm going to receive 25% more yield, or double the yield from a, gathering that specific resource. So it's going to be 25 for tier 5, 19% for tier 6, fiber, and so on and so on. Another way you can get it higher is by wearing your gatherer gear. That's why they are really good if you're farming higher tier stuff, or when you begin, because you double the XP. It's not only for the yield, it's also for the XP, and more money. It's fun. Who doesn't like money?
I have a question. How does the percentage of yield work? Does it get that per tick or is it random?
Yeah.
Okay.
So every tick you get, you have, for example, tier 5, 25% to double it. So if you do 100, you get 25 bonus. Okay? And if you're premium, you get another chance. It doesn't add up to the yield, but it has its own tick to give you one more. So it pays off to be premium. Useful tips. And after I'm gonna finish, feel free to add whatever you want, your own experience. I'm gonna open it up for debate. Fiber is usually can be found near water sources. When it comes to snow and swamps, not so much. You can find them in the open ground, but if you know that you're looking for fiber, you can find it along the water or the riverbed, or a water source. Stone and ore can be found near walls and boulders around the map, so do aim for that if you're looking for that. As for the large nodes in the Ava, maybe even in the black zone or red zone, let's say I'm going over to hide. I find a large hide node, and I'm looking for hide. What I'm also gonna find is metal. There's also a secondary node in every large node area, and that's the way it works. It's like a circle of the elements. So if I'm going to look for hide, I can also go to a large fiber node and find animals there as well. So don't keep your options closed if you're looking only for one thing, one resource that is. You can also go to fiber and hide. And if I'm looking for ore, I can find it also in large. I need water. You can also find it in large fiber node. No water here. Okay. Yeah. Does anyone? Oh, and the last one. Whenever you find a large treasure node which has the 30 ticks, some people do it. I don't necessarily do it. It depends on where I am. Leave the last tick to be because you don't want to give away your position. Once you take the last tick, there's a few seconds count that the node will disappear and people will know you are there. So if you leave it there, like it's not gonna give away your position or the surroundings of where you might be. So just mine 29. I think 29 is also a lot, and leave the last tick for the bozo that's going to come after you. Now, does anybody want to add anything from their experience? Anything they came up across?
I mean, our gank is usually mine it to one tick and use it as bait for any other unexpected gather. So
What?
we do specifically sometimes node ganking in which we mine the node until you get one tick and let it be as a bait. The opposite end. It could be
Oh, I see. Yeah, I understand.
A good tip for everyone that's gathering: use a Fort Sterling cape.
Also true.
Yeah, 100%.
majority of the time if you get dismounted, you're usually dead. If you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have a
but
good
Like,
Fort
good luck
Sterling, like
against the 8 wolves chasing you.
yeah.
yeah, but Fort Sterling helps you survive a little bit, so you can get to an exit.
Yeah. Also, undead cape. Do keep that
Yeah.
in
Yeah, I
mind.
was about to ask, undead or Fort Sterling, what do you prefer in Black Zones and others?
I prefer undead because I mostly farm in the other road, and there's not going to be a hell of a lot more people than what you can encounter in the black zone because they have charges. Also, the map is smaller in the other roads. Like, there's closer. You can play on being closer to exits, so it might help you even more.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever is a more beneficial or what you're used to play with. I use Undead Cape, some other use Fort Sterling.
Something I can recommend people to use that not many are thinking about: use a sword.
The carving.
Yeah.
No, any sword.
I use dual swords.
Reason to why you should use a sword, in my opinion, is because you will become immune to purge.
With a W.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it all depends on your experience and what you feel comfortable with, in
Yeah,
my
yeah, but
experience.
in general, like you pop your W, you get a defense buff, you get movement speed, you're immune to purges for 3 seconds. That's enough time to get you away from the people that are ganking you with the boots.
Yeah,
And
I
if you
I
use,
am loaded up right now as I would go into the zone.
and also using a Grandmaster shield is not a bad idea either because it gives you crowd control resistance.
All right.
Like the getting
Sorry.
ganked part is In itself, another part of the gathering session, I would say. Like the gathering part is fine, but you will encounter a time while you're gathering where you need to escape, and the escape part is an experience thing.
Does
That
anyone
you
have
just have
anything
to.
they would like to add?
No, I
More?
think
Uh,
you've
I,
covered
I
a lot
can
of it.
I can give you guys a tip, especially for the higher tiers, like tier 7 and 8. If you want to do it like in a safe environment, you can also do it in the mist. If you find an epic, like any uncommon, rare, epic, or legendary mist, it can spawn as a tier 8 or tier 7. And it's usually way easier to run away from people in the mists because it's going to be like one or two gankers on you. So any gathering set, if you go with gathering set or normal set, is even easier. But with a gathering set, you're pretty much unkillable if you have like a bloodletter or double bladed, any escape weapon in set. So mists is a very safe environment to gather. But not if you have only one gathering tool. Like if you have like 3 or 4 of them, because otherwise it's not worth it.
Yeah. One more thing about mists. The reason I didn't include it is because um, it's more of a side thing to do to earn more money from the mist. It won't necessarily uh, speed your process.
Oh yeah,
Like
no, it's
it might, but you. It's better if you go there already as tier 7 or 8, even maybe 6 as well. But yeah,
yeah. Like I would recommend mists only for like money making, not for progress on your gathering. If you have at least 3 or 4 gatherings in tier 6 or higher.
true, true.
So I also had one more question. What about journals? And which journal do you take? Um, Even if you're a tier 7, tier 8 gathering spec, do you take a tier 6 or do you take always the tier highest that you can gather? Because
If you look at my screen, I can show you what I go with. I usually go black zone pretty much all the time. I don't touch that much in mists or avarots. So right now I'm in a metal ore set. I grab the prospector and I grab the stone. That's because that's the main thing I'm going for when I'm going for a mountain area. So there are fibers, but they are so little. I won't really be filling a fiber journal, so it's not worth taking the fiber journal. At least
Uh,
in my opinion. Uh,
yeah, when it comes to journals, it's a bit tricky. You might be making money out of it. I prefer the tier 6 because tier 7s are. Uh, I I don't know if people really buy them. People prefer the tier 6 most of the time. Um,
I can
I
show you.
didn't really mess around with tier 7 journals that much, but tier 6, let's say I field a few journals. They're usually like 50K worth, 60, like not more than 100K. And the time they require to fill them is not worth compared to, let's say you died and you need to fill them up again from the beginning. And I don't like messing around with them too much because uh, they require too much messing around with.
Let's show you the profit between a tier 6 flat and the filled one.
If you're going to a gathering session, it it's good, but I don't know. You can't take them, but I prefer you to take tier 6. Yeah, you can take journals. Take them with you.
It
mhm.
depends. I think the journals is more of an extra profit. It doesn't help you in terms of fame in gathering at all, in um, experience or anything. It's an extra cost, yeah, but you might come home with more profit if you sell them, or if you
Yeah.
use them, you might get some more.
If you're in a habit of dying too much, don't bother. Like until you've refined your skill of surviving, don't consider them. Next up, there's a lot of gears you can go with to kill small aspects. Um, there's two I really like. There's the druidic stuff. You can even go like tier 5, like 4-1, maybe 5-1 even. Mage Cowl, Mercenary Jacket, Royal Boots, and the Torch. You don't even have to take any special cape. Battle Axe, you can pretty much the same with another cape and a Muisak. Yeah, you can, if you have higher tiers of stuff and you're doing the mobs off-road, anything might work. I do it with a halberd and a shitty set. Once you're high enough specs, so don't be too worried about it. But that's what I recommend if you're uh, only beginning with the small ones. Questions?
I would like to see also for the even I haven't gathered at all, and I also want to see a combination. How do you escape from a gank on 101? Maybe Buff can show that because it is already
Uh,
been gathering set.
the reason I didn't talk about how to escape from gatherers uh, is because um,
I find that comes from experience.
you're usually either dead or escape. There's no like too much. You just let's for example take blood leader. Just spam the running away stuff. They're on you. Okay. I pop. Let's say I have soldier boots. I pop soldier boots. I go invis in the jacket, and then once I reach high enough ticks, I run away. I use all of the abilities to run away. And then once you're far enough away, you can mount up and run away. It's usually working with 2, max 3 gankers. If there's 4, more than that, you're usually dead. Because they have the ability to relocate themselves fast enough for them to catch you. So usually gankers will catch you most of the time. That's why I'm talking about how to avoid them in the first place.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the priority number one.
Yeah, the best battles, or let's say the best runaways you have are the ones you avoid.
Yeah, I agree
Sun
with that.
too.
Avoiding the fights, but you will end up in 1 or 2 situations, and knowing the combination of how you're gonna do it is a nice addition to have.
Yeah. Trini, if you want
Yeah.
to watch my screen as well, we nearly got ganked earlier on the 7-3 node. So I can quickly show you now, if you want.
Okay, sure.
You just got to dodge, basically. What I didn't do this time, but it's good to remove your UI as well, so you can see the
Yeah.
corners of your
Oh yeah,
screens.
yeah. I didn't talk about it. There's actually a way to get rid. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. There's actually a way to get rid of
Just notice.
everything on your screen, all of the minimap and everything in one button, and then the whole screen just become. You can see everyone that's coming to you. So,
So here, you see the big blob at
yeah.
the top. We knew they were coming. We didn't realize how many there fucking were though. But you'll see it in a minute.
I already saw your inspect got failed because of your UI.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you can see that they're all circling. This is a separate squad. Down there, it's better together that come in. I think.
Also, widescreen helps.
Yeah, I haven't set it up yet,
Yeah, we do also
but
have
widescreen does help. Yeah.
Yeah, we do also have a guide on how to set up widescreen, in which give you about 20%
No.
more field of view.
Yeah.
It's so damn busted. I think everyone should have it as a gatherer to escape from gankers, because
Yeah.
it gets a lot of advantage in that point.
Yeah.
But we do have a separate guide for it,
Yeah, exactly.
basically down below for GTX NVIDIA card. They're also for AMD, but you do similar stuff. You just have to look for the
Yeah.
resolution.
Yeah.
And
I would
fun.
say
He shit himself. So what you got to be aware of, right, is who's mounted and who's not mounted.
Just so you know, by the way, you guys kept mining it. They all
Yeah.
came from me.
Yeah. So you'll
I'm
see in a
gonna
minute, like more and more start rolling in.
I wish I had a
So
video
you
of
see
how I
them
got
here.
away from that.
Yeah. So you see them
Oh, boy.
here. More and more. Then you start seeing dismounted guys ahead of us.
Holy moly.
Oof.
More and more and more. But you just got to be aware of who's mounted and who's not mounted.
Yeah.
You know, I got away quite easily, to be fair. Like, I didn't really have much of a challenge, but
I'll be damned.
yeah.
I'm gonna
I was dancing like crazy.
Yeah,
Oh, what I
exactly.
also do is when I go gathering resources in the black zone, I have the little chests unlocked. I buy a slot for like 100k, and it can be very useful. Just to have, just make sure you don't take anything out of them, because then you can't R back. But if you store stuff inside them, you're good. If you're not in combat, you can just if you're about to be caught and you're not in combat, you can just ditch everything inside and then give them the middle finger.
Yeah,
It's also a
exactly.
way to survive.
I have to point out from that video, the only reason you survived that encounter was because they were shit gankers.
They were so shit.
No,
Yeah.
no, I mean
Yeah.
you would be dead
Yeah.
if there was a real ganking team, because they would go in invis on you
Oh,
and
100%.
demount
100%.
you, so you wouldn't even have a mount to even
Nope.
start that. So that was a really terrible idea to stay
No.
there.
He got away from it,
You
dude,
got
because they
away
were all
from it,
chasing on me.
but you were still risking 2 million.
See, guys, observe this experienced gatherer, Bartier, and his attitude towards gankers. He already knows he's above them.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I also want to point out like a good video, generally what to not to do, and also like learn the escape route in terms of like you have plenty of amount of time to escape. Because if you find a mist, most of the chances in the map, if you dismount and get into that, you're gonna be fine. Because it takes like you every time you dismount, you have a cooldown if you can do an action. Most of the time, if you find a mist, you can pop it and go to it, go away from it, then back towards it.
Yeah.
So let's say, let me do a good old paint.
Yeah, and that's a good point to make, to be fair, because they'll just think you're running past it.
Wait, double check it, because then you can do
Unless
some.
they're pros and they're camping it.
There are also
Yeah.
pros and the cons, generally. But if you find a mist, pop it, then dismount. There's also one way you can do it. Because they need to immediately dismount as much as you do for the
Yeah.
mist. And in the channel time, usually in your favor.
Yeah.
So mist
if you
are also
dismount at
good.
the same time, you will exit that mist.
Yeah.
So usually when you see a mist pop, or he's gonna pop one, you have to dismount before him.
Because there's no way if they're gonna get to you if you are in a chase. If they are dismounted, like waiting for you to like attack you,
Well, yeah, there's no
then
point then.
then is yeah, game over, GG. That's all I say. But there most of the time it's safe enough to just post to pop a mist and go in there. Since there can only be one that comes in a mist, and the cooldown and how the game works is usually in your favor. The reaction times of the player is not that good enough if they already predicted it.
Yeah.
It's more about prediction. If they predict it, then you're no matter what you do. But if they don't, then you react. And you do have south screen advantage or using widescreen, then most of the chances you're safe, generally. But there are also some cheeky stuff you can do. Let me see here. I will cut the video in 2 seconds.
Go to red zone with the bear and gather.
There are several mounts that you never use as a gatherer.
Yeah.
And bear is one of them.
But either way, there is plenty of times when you can escape, even with a bear mount, which is technically not supposed to gather. So the chase starts here, and he's scared. Like look at him, so damn scared.
He's not even
Oh
looking at the screen.
no no.
He's eating it.
Oh, I just noticed there's also a face cam.
Yeah. What you could do also is right now is press N instead of like new trap yourself. You can click Shift N. Let me see if I can show it in game.
Yeah, you get the
Oh, there's
overlay of the
more.
map.
Yeah, you get the overlay of the map.
1 month game time. What the hell?
Yeah, there you go. Something like this. It helps you 90%, 95% of the time to escape anything you don't get stuck. Because it's easier to tunnel vision. Like if you are looking at enemies, then your eyes are not really what you're supposed to be. Which is really helps you if you press Alt N. Then you can try to tunnel vision actually on your arrows, because then it gives you more efficient information. Because you
I
know,
mean, shift then.
yeah, Shift N, Shift N. That is correct.
And you can also in the settings adjust the opacity because sometimes in some zones you can barely see it.
Yeah,
So you
but
can make it more opaque.
it's one of those options. There we go. And you start running. One of the most nastiest ganker setup ever.
What the hell am I looking at?
How to not
Jacket, Bridge Watch Cape.
He's got a gathering backpack.
Oh my god.
it's so greedy.
Yeah. Gathering backpack is always a no-no.
It's
It's
usually
just
gets
not
you killed.
necessary.
It
You
leads
just
to
don't need
zombies.
it.
What the
Okay.
fuck? They were so bad.
Yeah, he made it up and decided to
No!
argue.
Ah! Ah!
What's he doing?
What the fuck am I looking at?
The panic setting in.
Okay, so never R back when you exit the gate. Never.
Just
It
shield.
cancels your bubble. Oh my god. It cancels your bubble and it fucks you.
And now it's good.
He's got the wrong skills.
Bear in
Yeah.
mind, he wasn't in our guild at that time. There we go.
Yeah, that's.
Noob.
Has he gotten worse yet? No.
Yeah.
Never, guys, never take bears, oxes, never take anything like that. Always take stuff that give you passive, the passive carry weight.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
courier passive.
Wait,
Yeah.
so do we kick him now out of the guild?
No. There we go. But generally, pick fast mounts with a decent carrying weight, so you don't get
Yeah,
immediately.
moose is the perfect thing you can do. It has the same speed as a swift claw, and you carry a lot. The gallop speed is very short. It's
Is
the
it
best.
a buff or is it like a stat?
It's
That's
a
something
It's a
it's a stat. It's a stat.
ability. Yes, that's
a
an important
passive.
thing to see.
It's a
You
passive ability.
yeah. So if you
It's
look
like a
at
backpack.
the
If
bear,
you
it
lose the
gives you
mount,
more.
if you lose the mount, you still have the carry weight with you.
Exactly.
Contrary to the bear and the ox, where you lose all the weight you could carry, or you lose all the
You lose
you lose
character.
the ability to carry more stuff.
yeah.
So
Also, some things like the pest lizard or swamp dragon also have the same gallop as well as non-gallop speeds. So in case you even get tagged, you're not going to lose your gallop in a way.
Yeah, because the swamp lizard, the advantage with the swamp lizard is it has a decent chunk of health, but if you get tagged by any mobs, it doesn't lose mount speed. So it's probably the best combination with a 4 Sterling cape.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it
Because then
depends
you, yeah,
because its gallop speed is then slower than most ganker mounts.
yeah,
So if you're close to the hideout or in a red zone and close to the yellow zones, you can usually escape. But if they chase you a few zones away, you have worse chances then.
Yep.
yep.
If you want, I can go through the setup of the skills and the importance of the right skills
Yeah,
Yes,
do
or
please.
please.
gathering gear in specific for escaping,
I
because
also
Anyway,
never.
I'm done with the slideshow. Thank you guys
that
for
was
watching and being
amazing.
Nice
here.
one, mate. Yeah, appreciate that.
Well, it was great. It was
It
fun.
was
Thank you
great.
guys for watching.
Putting in so much effort in the presentation as well with your own screenshots.
Are
Yeah.
the slides gonna be posted somewhere? Because I fell asleep, so I couldn't be here.
No,
Uh,
we G kick you first and then post it.
No.
okay, let me check. Let me check. Buffy, can you go out to the rotations of people who has basically started off the gathering and say like, holy shit, what the fuck am I supposed to do? No.
Yeah. So on my screen, I have my inventory. Usually the setup I go for in black zones. Can ignore these books. Right, I can take them away. So I usually keep some journals, some gathering potions. These are just in case I find something really
Something
valuable.
juicy.
I can pop it, and the reason I have it in one stack is that this will be gone, and even if I get ganked, I can put the invis potion on. Very important. The invis potion is one of the best items that you can have as an escape tool.
Yeah.
But it comes with a this is the last invis that you use. You never use it first. Because this one gets negated by attacks and abilities or taking any type of damage. So this is the last thing you use.
So any bleeds for like bear paws
Any
you can
bleeds, poisons, any type of curse will reveal you when you have popped this. So that's why you always have this as an invis. But for the setup, there are a couple of choices. You can use cleanse in some certain situations that it might be beneficial. Personally, I prefer block, but it's a preference. In some situations where block comes in handy, you already have a lot of health at the high tiers. If there's an incubus or a one-shot comp, you will be able to pop this block to prevent further damage while you're still locked. So that buys you a couple of seconds. Analyze the map for your eventual ambush. And when you pop ambush, you get this circle where you can walk around for a couple of seconds. Also, while in this ambush, you can take damage, any type of damage, but the reason you pop this is to lose the bleeds, the curse stacks, the any
Sorry.
type of damage over time abilities on you. And it buys you a time to relocate for your eventual weapon that you're gonna choose for escape. If you're going for a bloodletter, you have a couple of dash abilities. That's fine. The escape weapon is up to you what you choose for. So for me, I will usually pop the invis ambush, use my escape abilities, pop the boots into an invis potion.
But I
That's the
have a
rotation.
question. Doesn't the boots get you silenced?
Yeah, but you can still use the invis potion.
Oh,
And one more
nice.
thing.
So
Why do you go for flea and not for the stack up one on your boots?
Show her, show her.
this is specifically only for the minor boots, because the minor boots are the best ones for escape by far.
Yeah,
But
100%.
this secondary, if you're going for another gathering set, this is quite good.
Yeah,
If you go for
you
Wanderlust, the only thing with Wanderlust is that you would want to pop it first, like that, into an ambush. So you're building up stacks
sure.
while you're in this. You're jumping away, pop the invis potion, run the other direction, or kite the enemy team.
And then you have enough time to mount up.
Yes. So that's usually the rotation.
I agree
But
with
for
everything
the
you said.
minor boots, you can actually wait for the pop of the minor boots after you use the escape abilities.
Yeah. And look how much movement speed it gives you.
Yeah, this
What's
one
the
gives you
highest?
120% move speed. That's basically a Swift Claw.
And for the
What
longest time.
Yeah.
what I wanted to say is that instead of an ambush, personally, me myself, I'm using the minor, the knockback, because
Windshield.
I'm using a bloodletter. Yeah, the windshield,
Yeah.
because then it knocks them away, and then I can pop my double dashes, and I'm 30 yards away from them. They cannot purge me.
Does
They
that
cannot
put
catch up.
Yeah, the problem with that it's put you in combat, so you
Yeah.
can't use the exits.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
Yeah.
a problem.
it depends on. You can use it, but my experience is only black zones, and not for small groups or small mists and one player and two encounters.
Yeah.
So that's why I also like the block. So if you're standing, if for some reason you have tagged the enemy, you can buy a couple of seconds with this at the exit, and you might have the ambush up as well, where you can stand in this at the gate before you zone out.
Yeah.
So this has 50-second cooldown, but it depends.
Yeah, just what I prefer the
Yeah,
windshield.
everything is personal. What you prefer or what you find out works best is
Yeah.
personal,
Also,
Also,
but this is what I use for my escape.
also be in mind that any type of mounts that uses the ability also consumes your boots.
Yeah,
It depends on which sword it is. If it's on the F SWAT, yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
F slot. That is, for example, Diablo will use your boot slot, your boots abilities, or something like what's it
Pick
called, the
food
giant
sword.
horse, also like a good example.
Yeah.
So you also bear in mind you trading one defense for another when you do using those mounts, and it all depends if you want to get dismounted or not.
But also, when you do get dismounted by a person, like when your mount dies while you're riding it, you get instantly all your abilities once you're dismounted.
Yeah,
Yeah. People say they like the spectral boar, and that's fine. It is a good boar, but I personally do not like this ability.
no.
Just because you get 5 seconds and you're getting a slow.
Yeah.
Like when you have used this and you get dismounted after you've been in this, say good luck to your escape.
Yeah, I find it good for
You're
gate
not.
campers or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Gate campers, sure, it might be good. That's in certain situations it might be good. But do not pop this willy-nilly, and it might be dangerous or bite you in the ass because you lose your ability. That's 50-second cooldown on your boots.
Oh,
That's entire escape.
by the way, it's also good to use a gallant horse. That's actually debatable, but gallant horse can also help you a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it stands on the same point of eating your boots cooldown. So if you do get dismounted, you don't have boots for a very long time.
Yeah.
Sure.
it's a trade-off.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a trade-off.
I just know that some people in Ava roads especially prefer Galantors because if they are already on the highway, they can just pop their Galantors and take a speed buff and go away.
It's not only a speed buff, you're untouchable.
And I'm
No,
also gonna
you can
say,
still take damage.
No, you don't take any damage.
You don't.
when it
Oh, really?
comes to the
No, it
You
gives you
Galentine,
you
speed
can't
and
be
makes you immune to damage.
you
I
can't be
thought.
crowd controlled and you don't take any damage.
Oh, okay. I thought it was only a CC resistance, so I just popped it anyway. But good to know.
I think that might be good as an extra information while gathering. So once you reach like a certain amount of percentage in weight on your mount, you don't want to wait till the last second to eat your pie. Because if you're getting jumped and you only have 1 minute or two on your pie, or you're getting chased through different zones, you can consider yourself dead. Just because you're gonna save 4k on a pie. So you always want to eat or have this one running when you're at high carry capacity.
Do you guys really go up to that capacity, or do you often return back
Yes,
40, 50?
I usually end up at 80, 90, 100% sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Because I know sometimes, at least in Ever Roads, the people waiting at this portal scouting will always try to see if the person is coming in with a pie or some other.
Yeah.
Passive on the boots. Yeah.
There
Yeah,
are
passive.
certain situations where the Sterling Cape has helped me while mounted. So if I was surrounded and I see the tank is heading in towards me, I have actually walked straight for him to spend his ability so I can walk straight past him because he can't root or stun me. So I start building up speed. He pops a stun on me. I just keep on trucking straight past him. That's one of the benefits of the Sterling Cape. You
But
can
aren't,
actively use it as a escape tool.
but aren't there multiple CCs normally on a tank or catches?
Yeah, they usually are. But if you if you have like a moose, for example, there's a 2-second gallop speed.
Yeah.
And so once he has popped his ability, he has to be really fast to hit you with his next ability. And even if he hits you, it doesn't mean an end for you. Because the gatherers will usually be in either a circle around you or towards one edge.
In Trini's famous words,
Yeah,
a banana.
yeah, a banana.
I like Trini's banana.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
oh, 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 there. Okay, I'm cutting the video out there.
About the skinning, because I'm usually using the hide animal poison on the chest
Yes.
piece because I struggle to kill the animals in a reasonable time with bloodletter, since I don't really have spec in it.
The
Is it
thing
just
about
a matter of spec, or is it just
Yeah, I'm a bit conflicted when it comes to the hide. Personally, I would prefer a higher tier weapon so that I can use the ambush. But if you want to be like high maintenance gathering, you can swap between. So
yeah, I usually swap. For example, if on roads
yeah,
I find one of those elite mobs, I usually like switch after
because you
well
only
the
need the
animal's dead.
poison. You only need the poison to activate once. So you
Yeah.
activate it, then you mount, then you move on. After you have switched to ambush, and you just gather the what you're gonna gather. So if I'm going skinny, I'm gonna swap between. If I have a low tier weapon, other weapons you can consider that has great mobility and damage, or the bloodletter. I
Yeah,
don't like
I
the
usually
bloodletter
use bloodletter.
in terms of escape. That's personal because the E launch, it's so easy to hit another enemy player and make yourself into combat with that. But if you're careful with that, you could it shouldn't be a problem. That's the only negative thing I see about the uh, bloodletter is how easy it's to get combat status
Like,
on
Ooh,
yourself.
what I do
bandit.
sometimes. Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, it's fine, fine. Let me see.
What I do sometimes when I'm hide gathering, I just take like one or two swaps with me,
Yeah,
mostly for the cape position because cape can give you better damage. And if you are near your mount, you normally don't trigger your cape on a person anyway. So
yeah.
it could be dangerous, but it works out for me with the bloodletter, mist color spec, like the two things.
Isn't the sword a serious contender as well because of the anti-pures?
Yeah.
But there are several ways to do it. This is just my way to do it. And that's what I found the most success rate with. So
Also, there is one mount called Heretic's Mule. It's a bit expensive and it isn't in EU yet. But I also know in West people were using that one specifically to also escape people. Mostly because it has this barrel ability which you can throw in a direction and it the recoil of it throws you farther away in the other direction. So you can kind of use it like one of those thorn flowers in League.
I have seen a couple of situations where also the ram has been used for escapes, and it's actually kind of good, but it run into the same problem. So like for me, when I played on West, I had so high ping, I didn't feel confident enough to use that ability for an escape.
Okay, do we have anything to say so we can wrap this up? It doesn't like a video size. Then we go.
Looks like someone wants to join the bandits.
Oh yeah, I probably want to join the bandits. Thank you again, Batman, for taking your time for the presentation. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you guys for having me.
There we
Was
go,
great.
and let's have a hand clap. There we go.
That was great.
Good shit.
Yeah, nice one, man.
Nice one, man. Really appreciate it. And yeah, now it's bandit time. See you guys. Have a good one.